Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very, very wonderful day and a very, very beautiful day indeed. Very, very happy to exactly continuing our episodes and also the next episode about our next character and also as well as a supervillain. Just know one thing, guys, I'm very, very grateful for your support and also in viewing my episodes and also please try to subscribe as well. It would also greatly mean a lot. But despite that, guys, I'm very grateful for your support and you guys viewing my episodes. It means totally a lot to me. It means totally a lot to me. Literally a lot to me. Very thankful for you guys. And God bless you all, guys. So, on today's episode, we're to speak about a supervillain who's also a dark assassin and a deadly supervillain known as Razer, who is exactly an ally of the Order of the 12, who's aiding the Universal Prince in his conquest to conquer the sacred universe and the sacred world and the known universe, and also seizing the universal throne for his sinister plans and goals as well. So we can exactly get started on Razor's early life, he was particularly raised by his father to becoming a powerful, deadly super criminal and also the worst of the worst criminal. In doing so, Razor's father trained him, guided him, teached him all the ropes to become a deadly assassin and also a deadly supervillain. Razor was quietly proud and very, very sadistically very happy that he was able to master using guns, taser blades, swordsmanship, hand-to-hand combat. He even became more aggressive and more cruel and more ruthless than his father ever had. And his father was quickly, completely very proud of him. His father was a known criminal throughout the sacred world who continued to supplying the original Lolo Magic and the Shadow Empire warlords with guns and destructive technology and more powerful technology that is very much quietly incompatible in order to make sure that the Shadow Empire remained the dominant, powerful force in the known universe and throughout the sacred universe as well. Razor was quietly proud and very reluctantly proud that he became a dark and powerful assassin and a supervillain as well, meaning that he became the founder of his people and he decided to lead his people through greatness, and his people are well known throughout the sacred world. They are the worst super criminals ever known throughout the rest of sacred existence. During at that time, after his father exactly decided to retire, Razor continued the family legacy in continuing supplying the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with destructive technology and more guns and more weapons as part of the deal and as part of the agreement. During at that time, the Universal Prince exactly came to Razor, asking him to become an ally, to his organization and to his secret society known as the Order of the Top, in order for him to supply those weapons and those technologies and those guns and those weapons and those swords to his to his colleagues and to his enlightened colleagues and to his operatives and to his agents as well. Razor was quietly taken aback as Razor asked exactly what would he gain exactly by this. The Universal Prince promised Razor that in return he will exactly teleport him straightly to planet Earth, where he can exactly mark his territory and mark his territory in planning to rule planet Earth for his people and as well for himself, which will exactly help the Universal Prince influence many people on planet Earth, and also as well extending his grip. And also extending his grip to control humanity through the process of you wreaking havoc and chaos throughout the whole range. By doing so, his influence will become more powerful and also indestructible than anything else ever before. Razor quietly accepted the proposition and he quietly shook hands with the Universal Prince, stating that they are quietly hereby allies of each other and they are hereby quietly partners of each other's goals and missions, which Razor agreed to aid the Universal Prince in his respective conquests to conquer the known universe and the rest of sacred existence in a process. And Razor was reluctantly pleased and was reluctantly proud that his reputation has become more powerful and more indestructible as ever become, that his assassins and his agents and his people will now serve the Universal Prince in making sure that he'll become the new Universal King, and that he will thrust the rest of humanity and the rest of the known universe and the rest of sacred existence into chaos and into destruction, so that Razor could exactly rule planet Earth and the rest of humanity for himself and for his people. And Razor exactly knew that he would benefit from all of that chaos and from all of the destruction as well. They quietly shook hands as they marked each other's partnership, as that Razor is now an ally. On the first On the 1st of January, Razer and his crew of assassins exactly ambushed the Formation Hunter console on the Formation Hunter console, able to exactly try to kill them. But the Formation Hunter console were very quietly persistent as they completely fought against the assassins and the operatives of Razer, able to specifically taking them down one after the other. Razer became so persistent as he quietly blended in with the rest of the assassins, and he decided in order to wear a new suit of armor that can exactly hide his secret identity and his mask during at that time. Razor used a sword to try to kill the Four Nation Hunter leader, but he statistically failed due to the persistence of the Four Nation Hunter, who became more persistent and more accurate through his assassination attempt. Razor decided in order to create a smoke screen in order to take his operatives and his people away, while some of these people were quietly taken into custody and sentenced straightly into the Astro prison, a prison designed to house super criminals and super villains, rogue heroes, rogue assassins, Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, rogue alien warlords and conquerors, and rogue evil leaders and operatives and agents as well, which is exactly designed to house those criminals and those super rogue superheroes, as well as the Astro prison is quietly a prison designed to house those criminals and also rogue evil superheroes as well. During that time, Razer contacted the Universal Prince through an encrypted satellite, where he was able to speak with him, telling him that his plan of assassination didn't exactly work well in attacking the Four Nation Hunter console, meaning that everything else bailed exactly the way it's supposed to be due to the persistence and the overwhelming of the Four Nation Hunter console, who were likely able to take them down. The Universal Prince reassured Razer that everything else is on track the way it's supposed to be, and everything else will go according to plan the way it was meant to go exactly. And Razor exactly was extraordinarily happy. Razor was exactly on planet Earth on the 12th of July. Razor arrived on planet Earth on the 12th of July, marking his territory as he created a gang and a group of powerful, deadly assassins at his disposal, which was able to exactly become fun of. He gave them guns, weapons, provided them swords and destructive Shadow Empire technology, and equipped them with more technology as ever before. A minute later, the Universal Prince exactly appeared on a hologram, exactly asking Razor to do another mission that can exactly wipe out the universal heroes once and for all. And Razor was reluctantly pleased and was reluctantly proud that he'll be able to take care of the problem once and for all. On the on the 15th of January, Razor and the other dark assassins and his people prepared to ambush the Universal Earth Heroes, and the Universal Earth Heroes on the abandoned world, as the Universal Earth Heroes and the Universal Heroes, or half of the team of the Universal Heroes and half of the team of the Universal Earth Heroes began an investigation on the other worlds, not realizing they were about to be ambushed, as Razor revealed himself to the other assassins, stating that this is an ambush and that these orders were quietly ordered from above and also as well from the top. The assassins quietly marched as the Universal Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes marched their troops for battle. As they continued to battle, in Razor continued to fighting against Universal Men. He went toe to toe with Universal Men, with these swordsmen and with these swordsmanship and marksmanship, taking him down. Universal Men became more persistent and more accurate with these skills and with these adapted skills and these abilities, and also with these swordsmanship and agility and endurance ability, able to use his powers in order to overpower Razor, which is like Disney able to exactly do so. Razor became disappointed and very very angry and very quietly unpleased of this development, and he decided to rightly disappear away, which he created a smoke screen, and the rest of the other assassins were taken into custody and sentenced straightly into the Astro prison as part of their custody as well. Exactly. Razor was able to meet up with the members of the Order of the 12th on the 1st of February in order to tell them that the ambush didn't exactly work as planned, as the Universal Heroes and their troops able to take down his assassins and the rest of their forces. The member sister exactly told Razor that his job was quietly good and his work was quietly very quietly well done, and all he did with his powers were able to take down the heroes and able to take them down completely, despite that the Universal heroes were becoming too powerful and also too deadly, which the Universal Prince was able to tell Razor that his work and his mission is very quietly a good success and a very quietly good reputation to the Order of the Top, and as well to aiding the Universal Prince with his respective conquests and his mission, which he will likely continue to do so. And Razer was reluctantly pleased that his services and his work are being remembered and are being appreciated by his leaders and by his masters. Razer continues supplying the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with more destructive technology on the 10th of February, giving them more powerful technology as part of the agreement. The Shadow Empire warlords and commanders became more greedy and more ambitious for more power and for more energy, and Razer could exactly see that and smell that from seeing through their eyes and from seeing through the eyes and sensing it exactly. He decided to give them more technology and more power and more resources, as the Universal Prince exactly said per to his orders, which was able to work well. The Shadow Empire warlords shook hands with Razer, stating that their partnership exactly still holds purpose and exactly still holds meaning. During at that time, Razer began a huge-scale invasion on the other worlds and the other civilization, launching his assassins to attack other worlds and other civilization as part of the Universal Prince, first attack, in order to show his worth and his power, as he told the other aliens in order to exactly show their allegiance and their loyalty and their submission to the Universal Prince, and to anyone else who dares will not exactly share their loyalty will suffer fate forward, so that all the aliens exactly show their allegiance and their loyalty to the Universal Prince and to his organization as part of the agreement, and Razer was reluctantly pleased until United Man and Sacred Man arrived in order to fight up against him. Razer took out his sword and decided to go toe-to-toe with Sacred Man and United Man. The fight exactly was conclusive, as the two superheroes and one supervillain was able to exactly battle, as the other United heroes continued fighting against the operatives and agents of Razer by reluctantly taking them down. The fight continued to last until Razer gained the upper hand and he decided to disappear through a smoke screen, and he was never exactly seen again. United Man and Sacred Man noted that the Universal Prince is tightening his grip throughout the known worlds and throughout the known civilization, and his organization is becoming more powerful and more destructive than ever before, meaning he will pose a great significant threat to sacred peace and to the rest of the sacred world, supernaturals and aliens and superhumans as well, meaning he could exactly thrust chaos and destruction upon its wake. He has to be completely stopped. On the first of March, Razer met up with the Formation Hunter Council in order to tell him that everything else has to be exactly in place the way it's supposed to be, making sure that the Universal King is well distracted with all the information and everything else, that prior to his orders of the Universal Prince to make sure that the Formation Hunter Council deliver great intelligence and great mission as part of their deal. And the Formation Hunter Council shook hands with Razer, meaning that everything else will go accordingly to plan the way it was supposed to be. On the 13th of March, Razer met up with the Universal Prince, stating that everything else is in order the way it was supposed to be. The Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have shown their allegiance to the Order of the 12, and he also gave them more destructive technology as part of the agreement as well. The Universal Prince told Razer in order to make sure that the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders are exactly showing their loyalty and allegiance purposely, meaning this time it has to be permanent. No exactly side tricks or any side show, and Razer was willing to exactly do that by any means necessary. On the 15th of March, Razer exactly met up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commander on a destroyed abandoned planet where they were able to exactly speak freely. In order to do so, Razer's operatives and his assassins took out their arrows and archery bows and guns and weapons at the Shadow Empire warlords, telling them to show allegiance and loyalty to the Universal Prince and to his secret society known as the Order of the 12 as part of the agreement. The Shadow Empire warlord exactly wanted to challenge Razer to a hand-to-hand combat match duel, which Razer happily obliged to. Razer took down the Shadow Empire warlord and commander and was able to defeat him in one fell swoop. He told the Shadow Empire warlord and commander to show allegiance and loyalty to the Universal Prince and to his organization known as the Order of the 12, which the Shadow Empire warlord exactly did. In return, they'll continue supplying them with more destructive technology and more powerful technology as ever imagined as part of the deal, which will be working reversely this time. The Shadow Empire warlords and commander will share their destructive technology and power through to Razer, and Razer will deliver the destructive technology and power to the Order of the 12 and to the operatives and to their agents as part of the deal as well. Razer was reluctantly happy and reluctantly pleased in doing so, and he began to exactly see that his work and his reputation is growing up in much more greater. On the first of April, Razer held up a swordsmanship training with these operatives and with these assassins, training them how to wield the sword and guns and weapons and bullets, and they were all quietly eager to learn from Razer, as Razer demonstrated that power and serenity can exactly come through by learning how to control your abilities and as well your capabilities and your liabilities and your abilities as well. Razer was quietly pleased that his followers are exactly learning the way how to fight in hand-to-hand combat, also in swordsmanship and in marksmanship, and that these assassins will become a prodigy of his great conquest and of his great goal. Razer exactly met up with with Zero, who's an assassin, a supervillain, and also a leader of another sinister organization of evil Phoenician hunters known as the Shadow Force that works on the behalf of the Universal Princes organization known as the Order of the 12 as well. Razer and Zero began comparing notes and also appreciating each other's works and services, stating that the partnership exactly holds meaning as the Universal Prince is becoming more happy and more very quite surprised of your skills and everything else, stating that he's exactly growing the reputation and everything else. And Razer was happily obliged that his services and his work are being remembered, and was also telling Zero that he will continue working for the Order of the 12, and you'll continue becoming the ally and supplying them with more destructive technology and more resources than ever possible, and unlike any others ever seen before. The two super villains shook hands exactly as remarking of the partnership that they masters as a big bad bosses exactly built with each other, stating that they're forever partners and they're forever members and they're forever partners and they're forever acquainted to each other and associates as well. And Razor was reluctantly pleased and very quietly said proud. Razor even prepared a spy or one of his agents and his assassins to infiltrate the Formation Hunter console on the 10th of April in order to make sure that the mission exactly goes well, meaning she will becoming the new spy as ever before. And he named her Pam in order to becoming an assassin and also a deadly infiltrator and a double agent of the Formation Hunter console in order to exactly report back any information and any things and any intelligence that the Universal Heroes or the Intergalactic Coalition or the Universal Earth Heroes exactly might be up to, what exactly they've been secretly working together or they're secretly coordinating together. And the operative exactly have the obliged she will deliver the information and the rest of the intelligence as well. And Razor was reluctantly pleased, very reluctantly pleased. Razor continued monitoring the war from his monitors, able to exactly from his central headquarters of his base, able to continue to monitoring the war of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, losing the war against the Intergalactic Coalition, which the Intergalactic Coalition was able to liberate thousands of worlds and thousands of planets from the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders and from the Shadow Empire itself, which was able to deliver a major victory for the Intergalactic Coalition and itself. And Razor became more pleased and more very happy and more very quietly good. Razor began training himself exactly, mentoring himself to fight his enemies, preparing himself in order to fight his enemy using bow, archery, accurate senses, hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, agility and endurance, and also first aid kit, training himself, prompting himself to become a better supervillain and also a dark assassin than ever, unlike any other I've ever seen. One day, another Shadow Empire warlord commander exactly retrieved his great intelligence in order to tell him that the Dark Order has taken control of the Shadow Empire and that there's a new leader of magic that is quietly at large, and with this new secret society of supervillains known as the Order of Power, that are exactly manipulating and controlling the Shadow Empire, and that they're secretly forming and creating a new Shadow Empire within the Shadow, much more larger than the one that will become bigger and much more greater than the original Shadow Empire. Razor exactly was completely taken aback, that stating that there's a new leader of magic, and also Red Bolt, leader and founder of the Dark Order, another organization of supervillains that wants to control and manipulate the Shadow Empire, and that wants to rule the sacred universe and the known universe for their own ends and for their own goals. Razor was quietly taken aback and very quietly surprised as he decided in order to marshal up his forces and everything, and all of them one by one after the other. Razor exactly met up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on the first of May, telling them that they need to share their loyalty. They need to exactly share their loyalty and their allegiance to the new leader known as the Universal Prince, and to the Universal Prince's organization, and to the rest of his secret society, which they all exactly successfully able to do exactly. And Razor was completely proud. Razor exactly began a full-scale invasion on a huge galactic planet that houses aliens and supernaturals and superhumans all in one, living together, but not in harmony when they all hate each other. Razor decided in order to invade that world with these battleships and warships, telling the inhabitants in order to show allegiance to the new lord, in order to show allegiance to the Universal Prince and his organization, which the inhabitants are successfully able to do so, meaning that they have the Universal Prince and his organization at the Universal Prince organization, known as Euroshop, at the Universal Prince organization disposal, and as well as the organization disposal, as all the inhabitants exactly said so. Razor was quietly completely proud as he was able to tell all the other species to sow the submission, to force them into submission in order to pledging their allegiance to the Universal Prince and to the Order of the 12 by any means necessary. And Razer was completely, reluctantly proud of himself and very greatly proud as Razer destroyed one planet with his warship, able to demonstrate his power and his worth as he destroyed the moon of the planet and showing the power and the worth of the Universal Prince and the Order of the 12, stating that if anyone else exactly doesn't show allegiance or loyalty, the planet will suffer very, 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 very traumatic, dark consequences if they're not exactly pledging allegiance to their loyalty. And one of the leaders of the supernatural and one of the leaders of the aliens, one of the leaders of the superhumans, exactly they pledged allegiance and loyalty to the Universal Prince, and that all the resources and all their connections and all their connections through the sacred underworld and all through the Phoenician hunters are at the disposal of the Universal Prince and his organization, meaning that they're at the service of the Order of the 12 and at the service of the Universal Prince. And Razer was completely reluctantly proud as he brought his warship on close range to the planets, able to show the Universal Prince's power and also worth, demonstrating that he's more powerful and more dangerous than the newly Lord of Magic and his organization, than the Dark Order, than the Star Prince, then also the Star Prince, then also the Star Prince, and also the Star Witch Queen, and also the Founders, and also the Victor Darkness, and the Galactic and the Sacred Circle as well, demonstrating that he's more powerful and more deadly than ever. And he even told the inhabitants that the Universal Prince has made a powerful alliance with the Star Prince, meaning that the Universal Prince and the Star Prince are hereby partners and are allies on each other's respective conquests. Any disrespect from both sides will suffer will suffer fate far worse than death. And all the inhabitants exactly there at the Universal Prince and the Star Prince's disposal, able to work with them and able to secretly aid them to respective conquests and also their rule. And Razer was predictably proud, very completely proud. Razer was able to meet up with the Universal Prince. Razer was able to meet up with the Universal Prince on the on the on the 13 on the 13 on the 13 on the 13 on the 13th of May, telling the Universal Prince that his progress is able to work well as all the supernaturals and aliens and superhumans have sold their allegiance and loyalty straightly to you and to your organization. And the Universal Prince was quietly surprised and very quietly happy, meaning that everything else is going back in order. And he shook hands with his old acquaintance and with old ally, stating that you will ever be an ally and you will ever be an ally to my mission and also to my goals, which I'll aid you to your respective mission and to your respective goals by any means necessary. And Razer was quietly surprised and very, 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 very grateful to have a partner and an ally such as the Universal Prince at his service. Razer began raiding planets and other civilizations of their minerals and of their crystals as he continued harboring all the crystals and all the elements, extracting all the elements and all the weapons from other alien worlds and other alien planets and other supernatural worlds and other magical worlds as he continued to steal them, as his assassins made a huge staging raids and huge staging invasions on other worlds and other planets on the 1st of June, as Razer was reluctantly proud as they were able to steal, but the inhabitants exactly fought back as the members of the United Heroes exactly arrived on time in order to fight the assassins and also the operatives of Razer and his forces able to take them down. Razer told his forces and his troops to completely take down the United Heroes and also to take them down by any means necessary. By any means necessary, we're still successfully able to do so. Razer even exactly stood idly by and watched the battle between his forces and the United Heroes go on, as he told one of his assassins to destroy a planet and the other rest of the planets, which he's reluctantly able to do so, but the planet was heavily protected by Warman and by Planetman, who was able to exactly stop the detonation of the canyon, or stopping the detonation of the canyon from launching, as he destroyed it with his superpowers and his abilities. And Razer was exactly forced to intervene throughout the battle as he continued pressing his attacks on Warman and Planetman, able to taking them down completely on a serious note. One quietly happy they thought his operation and his plan. One of his warships and battle cruisers were destroyed during the blast radius as the canyon's fire was exactly launched straightly back at the battle cruiser and straightly back at the battle cruiser and also at the warships. Razer told his assassin and his forces to retreat, as Razer exactly created a smoke screen in order to retreat and also to disappear. United Man and Warman and also Planetman realized that Razer is becoming a greater threat than anything else on the sacred world and on the sacred universe. His plan and his conquest to conquer all worlds and all civilizations, especially for humanity and planet Earth, is becoming too dangerous now and is becoming a sinister threat unlike any other. Razer was able to meet up with the members of the Order of the 12, on the 1st on the first of July, telling him that his plan, his successful plan, exactly worked well. Everything else was quietly in order until the United Heroes intervened with their plan in order to conquer, in order to enslave and extract all the minerals. He told the members of the Order of the Twelve that he extracted as much of the minerals and as much of the crystals due to the intervention of the heroes, as well as the enforcer of the Order of the Twelve was able to arrive with news and everything else. As Memory Sister congratulated Wingmaster in his work and his greatest work and his greatest mission, and also told Razer that his mission and everything else still holds purpose due to the intervention of the United Heroes and of the Intergalactic Coalition forces, that everything else is in order the way it was meant to be and nothing else can exactly disturb that. And the Universal Prince analyzed Razor's concerns, meaning that there's a plan in place to deal with the United Heroes and with the Universal Heroes and with the Intergalactic Coalition and with the Universal Heroes. And the plan is in place and implemented. It's ready to begin. Razor told the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on the 13th of June, in order to postpone the attacks and everything else, meaning that everything else has to go according to the way it's supposed to be going, accordingly the way in plan, meaning that nothing else can disturb their plans or anything else like that. And Razor was reluctantly proud as the Shadow Empire warlords commanders postponed the attack and postponed the attacks and the full scale invasion on the other worlds and also in the other civilization, which they were able to successfully do so. Razor even went straightly to the Shadow Empire's central headquarters on the 1st of July in order to tell Red Bolt that the Universal Prince is well aware of your plans and well aware of your sinister plans for the Star Prince and also for the Star Universe, meaning that he's well aware of that and he's exactly grateful that you told him to accept his offer into joining forces with him. Red Bolt told Razor that he will not join forces with the Universal Prince or his organization because his organization is more powerful and more destructive than the Order of the 12, and he will never exactly see himself becoming an ally of the Universal Prince, as Red Bolt exactly said. Razor exactly told Red Bolt that he's making a huge mistake and a very big mistake. Razor was able to exactly meet up with the Universal Prince in his central headquarters on the 1st of July, telling him that the plan was quietly working well, but the Red Bolt exactly refused to join forces with you or exactly ally himself with you. The Universal Prince exactly told Razor that everything else is going according to plan and everything else is falling according to plan the way it's supposed to be. Even if Razor denied the invitation to join forces with me, he won't exactly pose much of a threat to my operation as well as to my bigger plan, especially with the universal magic in his organization that's still out there. He's becoming my top competitor that he has to exactly compete against. Razor asked the Universal Prince to kill the universal magic. The Universal Prince told Razor not to exactly kill the universal magic yet. He's too powerful and too deadly and very, very intelligent and very, very powerful. He cannot be taken lightly, as well as his enlightened colleagues and his members of his organization. They cannot be taken lightly. He's more powerful and he possesses more greater resources than ever. We cannot exactly underestimate him, as a Universal Prince exactly successfully able to set that. Razor was quietly taken aback as he continued training his assassins and the rest of his forces on the swordsmanship and also the marksmanship on the 1st of August, telling them that power and everything else comes with a price and everything else has its own true price and with only its true nature. Telling them that they should exactly place their allegiance and their loyalty to the Universal Prince and the Order of the 12. And the rest of these people will quietly follow the Universal Prince as they saw him, sees him as a savior and a godlike being. And so did Razor himself. They built statues, they built and created a statue of the Universal Prince as a figment monument in order to worship him as a godlike being, of a savior, showing the Universal Prince their full loyalty and their allegiance, as the Shadow Empire warlords commanders exactly bowed down to the statue and Razor standing in front of all of them, meaning that the Universal Prince is the true savior, and all the other half of the supernaturals and half of the aliens and half of the superhumans also did the same. They created statues and monuments of the Universal Prince's statues across known worlds and across various supernatural cities and magical worlds and planets and civilizations throughout the known universe and throughout the rest of the sacred world. And Razor was reluctantly pleased as he created a holographic message stating to the rest of the known universe that the Universal Prince is now hereby the new king, and that with your support to become the most powerful king and the most ever deadly king ever existed, and he'll become the greatest universal king ever existed ever before. And the rest of the inhabitants exactly stood utterly by, saying that the Universal Prince is the worthy universal king ever existed and that he will exactly have our support. And Razor was reluctantly proud and impressed with his abilities and also with himself as well. He met up with the Universal Prince, stating that everything else is in order and everything else is taking place the way it was supposed to be. And the Universal Prince was reluctantly pleased and happy seeing the support of the supernatural and alien and superhuman community supporting him to becoming the new Universal King, meaning that everything else is following according to plan, as he told Razor. and that everything else is going according to plan. Minutes later, the enforcer of the Order of the 12, known as Windmaster, arrived as he took the Universal Prince and teleported him. Before he teleported away, he told Razer that continue training his operatives and his assassins, making sure that they're ready for phase 2 and also for phase 1. And Razer was willing to be happy and gratefully pleased that everything else is going accordingly to plan the way it was meant to be. Despite this, guys, Razer is very, very aggressive in battle. He loves the thrill of battle. He loves to battle so much. His greatest formidable arch nemesis within the Universal heroes is Universal Man, Firebird, and Warman, and his greatest nemesis throughout the United Heroes is Sacred Man and United Man and Warman and Planet Man. He quietly views them as his worthy adversaries and worthy opponents in battling against them because he's evenly matched against them. Despite this, Razer is intelligent, very skills in marksmanship, agility, endurance, swordsmanship. He possesses greater intelligence and also guns, and also possessing weapons and guns and bullets and everything else. He harbors much more guns. He's a founder and leader of his people as he leads them with grace and with true great authority. He believes that he and his people are destined to rule humanity and the rest of planet Earth, as he even aligned himself with powerful super criminals such as the Universal Prince, the Memory Sisters, the Time Witches, Zero Power Boy, the members of the Order of the 12, who are exactly a powerful group of supervillains who are willing to conquer and enslave and thrust chaos throughout the known universe and throughout the rest of sacred existence. He even exactly believes in the Order of the 12, his goals, and also believes in a method, and he'll do whatever it takes to make sure that their goals exactly bear fruit, even also to further his own goal and his own ambition. Razer loves to battle. He loves the thrill of battle. He's a powerful manipulator and a master manipulator, very determined to taking down his enemies and his greatest nemesis down, and also willing to go toe-to-toe with them head-on by fighting Universal Man, the new Universal Man known as Grayson Ferris Unity, who is the son of the previous Universal Woman and also the son of the previous Universal Man. So, despite this, Razer views the new Universal Man as an obstacle, as he never takes them lightly, and he learns from his current failures not to underestimate the Universal Hero's ability, or the Universal Earth Hero's ability, or the Universal Space Heroes, or the Universal Defending Heroes, the World Heroes, and also the Universal Magic Heroes, and the United Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition's ability in thwarting his operation, and as well his bigger plans for humanity and the rest of the galaxy. He'll do whatever it takes to make sure that the Universal Prince and his secret society remains in power and in control of the sacred galactic conflict that they're manipulating for their own benefit in order for them to put the Universal Prince to becoming the new Universal King and thrusting planet Earth and the rest of the known worlds into chaos, into destruction, so that the monsters could benefit by exterminating and wiping out the 4 Nation Hunters, at the expense of the Universal Heroes being wiped out as well. He views the Universal Heroes as an obstacle and as well as a threat to his plan, and he's willing to take them down, and he's willing to exactly align himself with powerful criminals such as Windmaster, who's an enforcer of the Order of the 12 as well, that I previously talked to you about, and he's willing to exactly help him with his goals and with his mission as well. Razer trains his people in hand-to-hand combat, in master tactician, and also in strategist. He's a master tactician and also a strategist, very intelligent, bears raw intellect in how to use guns and weapons and destructive technology, as he forms an alliance with powerful Shadow Empire warlords and commanders as well, who exactly saw their allegiance and their leadership to the Universal Prince and also to his secret society known as the Order of the 12. Despite this, Razer is very ruthless and very cruel. He possesses no superpowers but accurate senses, hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, agility, endurance, super speed, super strength, telepathy. He possesses mind controlling abilities such as telepathy and also hand-to-hand combat and swordsmanship. He's very intelligent, very powerful, very strategic. He plans, he orchestrates plans, and he manipulates wars and events in order to benefit the Universal Prince and his organization, known as the Order of the 12, in order for the Universal Prince to sit at the Universal Throne, and that has been his primary goal and focus, to enslaving humanity and the rest of planet Earth for his own benefit and for his people. He's a founder of his people, and he believes that his people are destined to lead humanity when the chaos that has been infected and created by the Universal Prince and the Order of the 12 has been put. He will exactly use his people of assassins and dark agents in order to save humanity in a crossfire, deeming them worthy of leading humanity and mankind through the crossfire of chaos and destruction as well. Despite this, Razer is very, very cruel and very, very ruthless. His ruthlessness holds no bounds. He's very, very intelligent and very, very smart and super strategic, orchestrating events, manipulating the universal heroes, the war heroes, and the universal heroes and the war heroes, who are the top competitors of the universal heroes as well, in order for him to benefit from the conflicts that the war heroes are exactly fighting against the universal heroes and against the universal earth heroes. He quietly despises Lytris, who's the leader of the universal defending heroes, and he quietly learns not to underestimate her teammates or her colleagues, all the universal defending heroes' ability and the united heroes' ability. He quietly will do whatever it takes to make sure that they exactly manipulate the war and using the heroes to his advantage in order for him to exactly control humanity in secrecy and in the shadows. He maintains his usual bases of operation in order for him to exactly operate from, and he uses those bases of operation for the Order of the 12 to exactly meet and convene and discuss their plans, and as well maintaining his central headquarters, which is just a building, which is just a sacred building that is on a dead planet, on a dead destroyed planet that's been destroyed and harvested of all its crystals and shadow energy, which would make it the perfect place for him to operate from in secrecy and also in the shadows. Despite this, Red Bolt is relatively smart and very, very, very strategic and a super strategist and a tactician, forming alliances with powerful criminals such as the Universal Prince, Memory Sisters, Time Witches, Power Boy Zero as well, who's a member of the Order of the 12 as well, and also Windmaster, who's an enforcer of the Order of the 12. These are the members of the Order of the 12, and this is an enforcer of the Order of the 12, who are willing to do whatever it takes to control and manipulate the wars that are coming ahead of the sacred galactic conflicts, and that are willing to put the Universal Prince on the Universal Throne so that he could become the Universal King and use that power of the Universal King and his influence and his resources to create chaos and destruction. Upon that chaos, they can exactly rule through it. That has been the plan, and Razer believes in the Universal Prince's goals and his method. He believes that his way is a better, efficient way for humanity and for the rest of the sacred world and for the rest of the sacred universe and for the rest of the known universe. And he'll make sure that the Universal Prince remains in power, and his organization, known as Universal 12, remains in power and in control over the war and over its state, and by manipulating the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to pledging their allegiance and their loyalty as well. Despite this, he's very smart, very intelligent, very deceptive, manipulative, and also strategic. Very smart and very strategic. He knows very well that the Star Prince and the Star Wars Queen have formed an alliance with the Universal Prince, and he's very gratefully happy that they two are becoming allies, which will exactly also benefit him by getting more resources and more powerful resources for himself and for his people, so that they can exactly begin planning to rule Earth and conquer the known universe and the rest of sacred existence in a process by enslaving thousands of known worlds and thousands of known civilizations. He's very, very smart and very, very intelligent, not meant to be underestimated. According to Firebird's database, when he told the Universal heroes about his Razer, he's a very dark assassin and a supervillain who's not to be underestimated. He's responsible by supplying the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with destructive technology and more power and more guns and more weapons as part of the deal and as part of the agreement. He cannot be underestimated. He's relatively smart. He's very, very skilled in swordsmanship, super skilled in marksmanship and in agility and endurance. Very, very skilled. He possesses accurate senses, able to detect and sense Universal Man and also Mind Girl's power and energy and her shape-shifting ability and cloaking ability in a far distance and also in a far range. He's not meant to be underestimated and he's not meant to be taken lightly. Despite this, Razer learns from his failings, and he learns from his previous failings not to underestimate the Universal Heroes' ability, or the United Heroes, or the Intergalactic Coalition, or the Universal Space Heroes, or the Universal Defending Heroes' ability in thwarting and interfering with the operation, and with the operation of the Order of the 12 and the Universal Prince's operation, and as well the Star Princess operation, and as well the Star Wars Queen operation and plans as well. He learns not to underestimate the ability and never to take them lightly ever again by any means necessary. Razer is very incredibly smart and incredibly intelligent. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I all hope you have a wonderful day. Just know that Razer is a dark assassin and a supervillain and an ally of the Order of the 12. That is exactly what today's episode says all about. Well, have a blessed evening and an afternoon. I'll exactly see you tomorrow. Tomorrow might be very, very tricky because the gardening people are exactly coming in. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to manage to shoot the next episode, but I'll exactly continue shooting until Friday. For those who are watching shorts, I'll exactly give you the shorts on tomorrow, and as well for those who are watching the full video, you'll receive the full video tomorrow, and you'll receive this episode and this episode and this video today for those of you who are watching it. So stay safe and stay happy, and love yourself and love God so much. God bless you all. Sharp sharp. Bye bye. Sharp sharp.